Greetings, everybody. Thanks for tuning into my video about gaslighting. We're going to talk about gaslighting today. What is gaslighting and what to do about it? So once again, my name's Scott Carter. I'm a therapist here in the beautiful state of Utah. We got ourselves kind of a rainy morning, but it's just a beautiful spring day. I guess it's technically sort of summer, but early June. And anyways, today we're going to talk about gaslighting, what to do about it. And a lot of people have heard this term, and there's actually quite a lot of information out there about gaslighting, and maybe my take on gaslighting is a little bit different. I'm going to talk about kind of some of the things that I see, because this video is mostly about like high conflict divorce, high conflict custody, and so a lot of what I'm going to talk about right now is going to have to do more so in the context of high conflict divorce and high conflict custody battles. So yeah, what is gaslighting? What to do about it? A lot of people have heard this term and don't really necessarily have a really good idea of what this actually means. So we're going to get into it. There are a couple of types of gaslighting that I see that I've encountered a lot. Let's talk a little bit about first what gaslighting actually is. So gaslighting is a manipulation tactic. It's used to manipulate people and situations. Gaslighting is also used to shift power dynamics. Gaslighting is a power play. You show me a situation where there's gaslighting taking place, and I'll show you a situation where there is power struggling going on. Okay, so gaslighting is a way really to shift the power dynamics and the balance of power in a situation. It's also used to shift credibility and bring someone's credibility into question. Again, this is in the context of divorce court, of custody battles. There's one of my issues with custody battles and divorce court is kind of the credibility issue. What makes a person credible in court and what makes them not credible in court. And I just don't believe that family courts in general do a good job of establishing what that is, but it's also ran by lawyers, and I'm going to try not to badmouth lawyers too much. Anytime I do a video about custody issues, divorce issues, family court, you're going to hear me bad talk lawyers. But gaslighting is also used to bring an individual's moral character into question, right? As though if we can make you look like you're a bad person, it means that the facts are now altered somehow, right? But let's get into the first type, okay? First type of gaslighting is what I call narrative building. And this is used often for, it's effective for creating like a parental alienation, okay? High conflict individuals, or what I call high conflict individuals, and are people who, quite frankly, often fit the bill for a personality disorder, narcissistic, borderline, or sometimes antisocial personality disorder. And they are notorious parental alienators, and they use gaslighting, and it's unbelievable. It's so interesting how it's not like they take a class on how to do that, but so many of them are able to just pick up this behavior like a duck in water. It's fascinating to me when it's not horrible, right? But if you are on the receiving end of some sort of parental alienation, gaslighting is very effective in this regard. But I'm going to get into that. Okay, used to the narrative building one is also used to create a certain narrative about a person and paint them in a certain light. Okay, again, I'm going to use an example here. Okay, but the narrative is built, which is kind of the gas, right? We just create this story around a person, and then a certain behavior is triggered to basically light the gas. So I'm going to give an example. I had a client once, and he was in a high conflict divorce and custody situation, and he had his kids over for his time, and according to him, his ex-wife had been directly told that she was not to come to his home or be on his property for any reason. So here he is, he's got his kids, his parent time is going, and ex-wife rolls up into the driveway because she's got a new puppy that she wants to show the kids. Okay, And what does he do? He goes outside and yells at her. He flips out. You know you're not supposed to be here. Get off my property right now. I'm gonna call the police. And he does this in front of the neighbors and the kids and everything. Okay. So the way that gaslighting works in a situation like this is, for example, that let's say his ex-wife had told the kids and told other people, told lawyers, the court, and everybody, oh, he has an anger problem. He has big time anger problems. He just has this. He's always getting angry, right? He has control issues. He's so controlling. He can't stop being controlling. And the story's created about him, right? And then she deliberately shows up at his driveway because she knows, kaboom, he's going to blow up. He walked right into that. And I mean, I told him, I said, you just walked right into that. And she's gaslighting you big time. And now the story that she's been telling everybody about you, that you have anger problems and control issues, she can go, see, he has an anger problem. He's controlling. See, I told you, right? And that's sort of how that works, okay? The narrative building side of things. So what to do about it? Let's talk about solutions here. Okay, you first have to recognize when gaslighting is happening, okay? The two big indicators that someone is gaslighting you is, number one, they are accusing you of something that you haven't done. They might go to social media and tell people that you stole money from them. I don't know, something like that, right? Or number two, they're directly violating instructions or something that they were told not to do. And in the example that I gave, specifically, ex-wife shows up on his property when she has specifically been instructed not to do that, right? So if those things happen, those are the two indicators that someone is gaslighting you, that they're accusing you of something, or that they deliberately go against something that they have been instructed not to do. When you explode, they're gaslighting you. Okay, you have to learn to be mindful. You got to learn to be strategic and deliberate here, people. Okay, I know it's hard. I know it's really hard, but you got to stop reacting. You got to stop blowing up. You got to stop freaking out. This is precisely what they want you to do. This is precisely the reaction that they're trying to get from you, and so that they can use it against you. You're giving them what they want. Okay. When you stop reacting to this when you just stop blowing up and you stop just being reactive, the behavior just goes away. The reason why they do that is because it works. If it doesn't work and they don't get the results that they want, they're not going to do it again. Okay. So and also this is very important, this next point, when you stop reacting, the narrative falls apart. Okay. This is super duper important when it comes to parental alienation. And I'm planning on doing a separate video and a separate thing on parental alienation. But this is how they alienate the kids, right? They tell the kids you have an anger problem. Then they deliberately provoke you so you explode, and then they tell the kids, see, I told you, and then the kids drift away from you, right? So when you don't react, let's say she rolls up into the driveway and you go, oh, well, what are you going to do? And you just ignore it, right? Suddenly, because there's a good chance ex-wife has told the kids, your dad's going to flip. He's going to be so angry. And all I'm doing is bringing a puppy, right? And I'm going to go back to that example and have because that also applies in the second form of gaslighting. But anyways, if you don't react, suddenly the kids realize mom said the dad was going to blow up and he's perfectly calm. So maybe mom's not being honest, right? So the narrative falls apart. The story falls apart, okay? My other solution is to create resistance on the back end. Now, I also have 6 rules for high conflict co-parenting, and this is one of them, creating resistance on the back end. Don't react, don't blow up, but call your lawyer. And frankly, I dislike family lawyers. They're just sort of necessary, sort of a necessary evil. Create some ramifications on the back end, okay? All right, number 2, plausible deniability, okay? And even though at the bottom I have an example of being like to publicly slander on social media, I'm going to keep the puppy example going for this one. But let me talk about what this one actually means first. Okay, this is just basically denying certain behaviors and Denying certain behaviors or actions in an attempt to shift the credibility. Okay. No, I didn't. I didn't do that, right? In the case of the puppy, it's like, you could be super angry and go, she showed up with a puppy on my property and she knows that she's not supposed to do that. She's doing that just to provoke me, right? And what did she do? All he did was bring a puppy, okay? This is you, and so we're using that example. This is used to cause you to feel crazy, cause you to self-doubt, cause you to feel afraid, cause you to feel insecure. This is also used to make other people look at you. So this is also this particular type of gaslighting, right? All he did was bring a puppy and he just loses it. It's just a puppy. Gosh, right? That makes you look less credible, makes you look crazy, makes you look irrational, okay? This is exactly what gaslighting is, okay? And this is how they double whammy the gaslighting. And so what do you do about the plausible deniability? You got to disengage. You got to ignore. Don't respond. Don't defend or explain yourself, okay? This is an important point. I have 5 mandatory rules for high conflict divorce and custody. And one of those rules, rule number 3, is don't defend or explain yourself. And this is a running theme throughout virtually all of my content and material. Don't defend or explain yourself. There's some very, very specific and good reasons not to do this. Don't explain your actions. Okay, gather evidence. If they're creating parental alienation, try to gather evidence or just document everything. Okay, you got to be confident. You got to stand strong. No, you're not supposed to come onto my property. You have been instructed to do so, and you did so anyways. It doesn't matter if you have a puppy, a kitten, or a lizard. I don't care. You can get the puppy later, or you can show the kids later. But remain calm. Hardest part, remaining calm. Okay, so this is one thing too this last point that I really try to communicate to people. You got to be true to yourself and learn to not doubt yourself. And I talk to people all the time where they get so much doubt placed into them in these situations, and it causes them to make really bad decisions. And so don't doubt yourself. Don't take their word at face value. An example that I heard recently too was that this guy's ex-wife was, his name is on her condo, the mortgage for her condo. And he's afraid that she's going to sell it and it's going to have his name is on it. And even though he's been told she can't sell it without your signature, he says, well, she says she can sell it. And he believes her for some reason, okay? Don't doubt yourself. You've got to stand firm. Just be like, well, she can go ahead and try, I guess. It doesn't matter what she says she can do. So that is my video on gaslighting. So I do consultation work for high conflict situations like this. It is a very specialized service that is not offered in a lot of areas or circles. I consult people on how to more effectively co-parent. I consult people on dealing with divorce court so that it doesn't... Here's the thing about divorce court, everybody, okay? Bottom line, your attorney will escalate it, especially if you are in a battle with someone who has a personality disorder. When your attorney escalates it, it's payday for them. They don't get paid extra for bringing a quick and easy solution to this. They have no idea. Attorneys have no idea how to deal with someone who has a personality disorder. I don't care what they say. They don't. And attorneys may tell you that they know how to deal with a narcissist or a borderline, and 99 times out of 100 they're lying. They really don't. They know nothing about it. Okay. Also, I provide some consultation on some custody battle issues, just like the psychology end of it. Things that just attorneys don't know. Okay. Some of the services that I provide, coaching to implement rules and boundaries. You want to lower the conflict? I have very specific rules. I have very specific boundaries for going through your court battle. Specific rules for co-parenting. working to reverse parental alienation and the like. So one of the valuable services that I provide, documentation review, I've done this for a lot of my clients. I find it very, very helpful because high conflict types tend to go all over the place, and they tend to just spew things. And so I help bring some organization and some order to the situation, and also point out areas where I would be troubled as like a custody evaluator, which is one thing that I've done is custody evaluations. I help people deal with parental alienation. This last one too, reducing conflict by teaching Socratic questioning method. Now this is kind of a big thing, but I have worked with people on asking questions, asking good questions, and responding with questions. The way that you respond and the way that you communicate back during your high conflict situation is going to drastically change the outcome. If you're reactive, you're going to have bad outcomes. You must be strategic. If you're not strategic, it's going to be a mess. That's just the bottom line. So do you want it to be messy, or do you want it to not be messy? And I like them to be nice and clean because it has far fewer negative ramifications for the kids. So if you want to contact me, you can go to my website, www.saltcitycounseling.com. This is my email, scottc@saltcitycounseling.com. If you have not been to Quora.com, you can follow me over there. I've written a lot of content on personality disorders and some content on parental alienation, high conflict situations, and the like. And finally, a shameless plug for my side project. This has nothing to do with divorce, custody, or personality disorders. It has everything to do with personal growth and personal help. But go check out theorionway.com. We got a podcast. I write a ton of articles and stuff like that. So thanks again for watching. Hope this was helpful. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. So thank you again. We'll see you next time.